Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We're in Long Beach today, and we are joined by Carolyn Bell. She is the executive director of the Long Beach Bar Foundation.
Yes.
I was introduced to you through Doug Halbert, the elected city prosecutor.
Yes.
He raves about you. He raves about your organization. He insisted we invite you on, and it's my pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much, Brad, for having me.
So tell us about, broadly first,
Okay.
what is the Long Beach Bar Foundation?
So we are the foundation of the Bar Association. And it was a program brought from Orange County as a pilot program, because there's a program in Orange County as well. So the Bar Association wanted to establish a foundation, and so the Shortstop program became the foundation, and it was incorporated in 1994.
And let's talk about Shortstop, because that is the program which
Yes.
Prosecutor Halbert is such a fan.
Yes.
As we know, when minors get into trouble, oftentimes the trouble is not severe.
Right.
But if they are not addressed appropriately, it can lead to greater crime.
Absolutely.
And so that's where the Shortstop Juvenile Crime Diversion Program comes in.
Diversion program.
I want to start with the education element of the program. Tell us about it.
So we are a law-related education program. We believe that if we teach young people the legal consequences of their decisions, that they will stop and think before they act. A lot of young people are impulsive. They will...
Well, their brains aren't fully developed. We know
and
about that.
we tell them that. They don't believe that,
Right.
though. They think that they're adults already. So when we get there and we say, hey, you guys are still considered children, they're like, what? We're
I'm not a
like, yes,
child."
your brains are not fully developed. So they make spontaneous decisions, and we are under the impression that if we can teach them the legal consequences early, then they'll have a greater chance of not becoming hardened criminals later in
course.
life. And they learn the importance of respect, respecting their community, respecting themselves and their schools. So the earlier we reach them, the better.
So tell us about the classes. Is it a several-week course? Is it a focused exclusively one evening? How does it work?
The classes are awesome. They're taught at the Long Beach Courthouse in donated courtrooms. And we have volunteer attorneys, practicing attorneys that volunteer their time. We also have school principals, we have Coast Guards, and we've had law enforcement as well. And so it's taught at the courthouse. Just to give you a little more detail,
Please.
we walk them through the whole process of what it would be like if they were to enter into the system. They're stripped of their possessions, they're suited in an orange jumpsuit, they're given a number, they go into the courtroom, they sit in the jury box.
It's
and
scared
the
straight. It's just, yeah, it's
so
like
we stay away from scared straight.
But yeah, well stated. But,
Okay.
But it's giving them a sense. I understand.
It's
scared
giving
straight
them
can
a
be
sense.
too harsh.
Yes.
But
And I'm very gentle, and I'm told I'm like the gentle person there, and they want me to be tougher. So I'm very
well,
nurturing.
your voice. It's. I mean, I feel like I'm being
Well,
supported.
thank you. So I'm nurturing, but we do have to give tough love as well. So I guess if you wanted to say a little bit of scared straight, it's okay.
In the best sense.
In the best sense. So yeah, so it's taught at the courthouse. So the kids are in the jury box, their parents are in the audience, and then the kids are hot seated.
What does that mean?
Each child is brought up as if they're being put on trial. And the attorneys have a complete intake on the client. They know if they're having issues in school, what their infraction was, if they're...
What type of infractions, if I may ask?
petty theft.
Got it.
You know, and we remind them that if they're shoplifting, if they get their photo taken, that it could be at that store for the rest of their life. They could be prohibited from going back to that store. We get kids that take things out of lockers. We just had a class last Tuesday where they were breaking into lockers and stealing cell phones. It's a big thing. They want cell phones to sell them, or they want to use them for the minutes, but the moment you try and take something from someone and you push them down, it can go from, you know, just taking something to strong arm robbery, and they're like, what? You know? Or they jump in a car where there's keys and, you know, one guy wants to drive and the other kid just says, I want to come along. That's grand theft auto. So when we teach them that the decisions they make today really do matter and really can follow them for the rest of their lives,
And
it's
I
important.
used to be a lawyer.
So you know better than I.
And I remember learning about, this is obviously much more serious than what you're describing, but the felony murder rule.
Yes.
If one is with someone who commits a murder,
Yes.
it's as if you committed that murder.
And they're blown away by that.
Right.
We tell them that it's an accessory. So we teach them you have to care enough about yourself to say no. You have to care enough about yourself to stay away from people that are bad influence. Now, they've heard that all their life, but then they try it and we say, this is what could have happened, or this is what has happened, and this is what's now on your record, and they're blown away. So getting back to the courthouse, once they're hot seated, then they also get a chance to go downstairs to the holding cell. So maybe this is where some of the scared straight portion kind of comes in, because that's what you see on TV. But we have 3 very gentle people that share their stories. We have a young man that at 42, he went away to college, came back from college, started smoking marijuana and became a full-blown crackhead. And he tells the story about being an adult, making poor decisions and ending up in prison. And the first night, here he was, a very nice guy, but just addicted to drugs. They made weapons. And he said, you know, can we just all get along? And when he woke up in the morning, they were beating him. They broke his ribs, knocked out his teeth. And when the officers asked what happened, he said, well, I fell in the shower. Well, they hadn't had a shower in 2 days. So when young people hear those kinds of stories that good people can end up in prison and really bad things can happen, it's really moving.
How do the parents participate?
The parents are in the audience, and when we do the intake initially, we ask the parent all the questions. Is there issues with relationship between you and your child? Are they defiant? Are they abusive? Are they cursing? How are they getting along with the siblings? So they tell
truancy.
Truancy, oh my goodness, homework, we look at the grades. We look at the grades, we look at behavior at home, behavior at school, if there's any counseling taking place, are they on medications, are there learning disabilities? So we do a full intake.
And is it one night?
It's 2 nights. So the first night is our tough night where we put them on trial and we ask them, what are you doing, and this is what could happen, and they get exposed to the holding cell. Usually the parents cry, sometimes the kids cry. It can be a very emotional night. Second night they come back and it's our positive reinforcement. They've done 13 homework assignments, the parents have done 4, they've sat down and communicated together, and it's our positive reinforcement night where the kids get up and they own their mistakes. They own their change. They speak about it.
And for those that need it, there's a counseling element,
yes,
which is nice.
We had to bring that in.
Right. You also recently launched, I think, inspiring to have launched this, a juvenile anger management program.
Absolutely.
Because let's face it, there's a lot of frustration. Fear can morph into frustration, can morph into anger.
Yes.
And so how's that program going? I know it's recently started.
Awesome. Quickly before,
Please.
It's counseling.
Yeah.
We saw the need for counseling because we saw parents that weren't appropriate,
Right.
for lack of a better word. So some of the parents would come and they'd be like, no, I don't want to be here, and they had issues. And so I said, well, we have to get the family. It can't just be the child. We have to get the parents. We have to help the family.
Sure.
So we got a grant and we offered free counseling, 10 sessions. And it's so cute to see little families come in together. And I say little because when I see a mama and a papa and little kids, I think it's awesome.
Right.
So when they go through the counseling, it's just really good to see that. But then we saw young people come in angry.
Right.
They
And
were
that's where this comes in.
abusive.
Right.
They were mad at their teachers. They were mad at the world. They didn't have any hope. They were just really discouraged. And one summer, the Employee Community Fund of Boeing contacted us and said, hey, we're looking for a creative idea. Can you think of one?
Yes.
And I said, yes, our
Yes.
kids are angry and we want to make sure we reach them before it becomes violent. It's okay to have anger, but you have to find a way to behave appropriately with it. And so the anger management class, we have 2 beautiful young ladies. One was an intern with us, went away to college and got her master's and came back with an MFT, and she had worked with adults transitioning out of prison that had anger issues. And she said, I'm going to come back. And when she came back, I said, how about an anger management program?
It's brilliant. You'll come
She
back
said,
another
"I'll do
time
it."
and tell us more about your work.
Oh,
I
it's
want to thank
awesome.
you so much for joining us and
Thank
for what
you
you're doing
so
for the
much.
children of Long Beach. She
Thank
is
you.
Carolyn Bell. She is the executive director of the Long Beach Bar Foundation. I'm Brad Pomerance. This is Charter Local Edition.
Thank you.